Welcome back to Bills, Bets, and Beers. I'm your host, Chad, and it's nice Monday because the Bills won. And we haven't had one in a couple weeks, even though it wasn't the prettiest. I mean, we still won by 8, but, ended up with the dub. That's all that matters. Um, but definitely be going through Bills versus Browns game, Week 11 matchup. Uh, but yeah, if you're new to this channel, I'm mostly talk about Bills football, go through the NFL in general, updates, games, and whatnot, and then I walk through some uh, bets and parlays that I put in, mostly Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football, and as well as some Sunday games in there too. And then occasionally I do a tasting and rating of a tasty brew. I like to do like to put and try some local IPAs from the area. So just to keep it nice and local for us. So if you're not from the area, maybe you can pick them up on that on Tavor app and maybe get it that way. Um, but anyways, let's get into this video. Uh, I have some couple things I like to do for post game reactions. First off, let's hit the positives from the game. First positive, the Bills had a run game today. Had a run game yesterday. That was very positive. Um, that was like I figured that they would have to do that. That's why I said Josh Allen's going to get a touchdown. But thankfully they didn't have to use them that much. They were actually using the running backs like they're supposed to do, running them. So that was a good sign. They definitely showed up strong. Both with crazy stat. I didn't think this was real when I saw it. Both Cooks and Singletary had 86 yards. Exactly 86 yards. There's probably like a half yard here and there that would have separated it, but they both ended up with 86 yards on the chart. So that's very nice. Cooks had it on a lot had on less targets. Less attempts, but definitely interesting to see that dynamic going there. It's kind of worrisome. Granted the run game was going great, but this is one of the worst run defenses out there in the league. But weird, it's like you didn't see Hines really running at all. He had negative 8 yards rushing today. Sunday. It's like you make a trade halfway throughout the season, thinking you're trying to bolster your team, and then there's no sign of him on the field. It's just weird. It shouldn't be like that. But anyways, on to the next one. Both Gabe Davis and Dawson Knox showed up today. It wasn't the Dig show. It was the everyone else show. Davis and Knox show at this point, but they both showed up very strong. Knox got 70 yards, and Davis got 64. Very well. It's not too surprising, but it's just nice seeing not everything weighing on Josh and Diggs' shoulder. I know they're bracketing Diggs heavy, and he was wanting to get targets. He still ended up with 40-something yards. Not bad. He went over the season, over 1,000 yards in the season. I believe he only need 15 to get 1,000, so I think he got 43. So he only like 1,020 something right now. So it's almost 1,030. So he's definitely gonna have a good year. He's gonna be probably around 1,600 when we get towards the end. But definitely a good sign where they're starting to actually distribute the ball around and not just hit Diggs and try to force it in. You're trying to actually spread the ball, get Knox involved, which he should have been involved a lot earlier, and it could have changed a couple games, to be honest. But Knox is doing well. Then you get Davis coming back from just dropping everything. He did drop a big pass in the first half, but he made up for it. Had a nice couple grabs down the line, and just made up for not all of them, but he's starting to catch more than drop. He was 5 for 7. Could have been 6 for 7 if he caught that run he dropped. But anyways, let's get on to the next one. Um, Bills run defense was amazing. Like I was predicted. I figured we would get better, but not this great. I mean, we literally stuffed the run so much that the whole team got less than 80 yards. I mean, you held a Chubb with like it was 18 something attempts to, or at least 16 attempts, whatever it was, to like 18 yards. That's wild. I mean, not many teams are doing that. And then Hunt, he got the bulk of the yards. I think get around 60ish, but he's pretty quick, and he did have a couple good runs, but we stuffed them, and that's what we need. We need to see good run defense because coming up, tis the season. All the snow's coming in, cold weather, the postseason's coming up. You have to have a good run defense, and we are starting to build that and get towards that level. We just have to keep steady with it because we still have the Jets coming up, which destroyed us in the run game last time. I mean, and we got the Patriots. They've run well too, and now I mean, obviously with Miami they're gonna be running, they're gonna be passing it more, but they still got Jeff Wilson Jr. He's still a dynamic back, and you got to watch out for him as well back there. I mean, we need to win all these divisional games coming up, and this is going to be crucial to have this good run defense coming up, at least for the Jets and the Patriots. Um, and even the Lions coming up, they're pretty good on the run. Um, so good signs on that. Next thing I put in there was Bills. Bass was automatic on those field goals. I mean, he hit a nice 56-yarder. That was good to see. Because there always been questions. Like, I mean, he hasn't hit anything over 55 because he hasn't had to. But hitting a 56-yarder is great. I mean, yes, it was in a dome. There was nothing to really do affect the ball. But you expect that out of him. He has got a big leg. He could have made 60 plus on that one. So, with how the trajectory was, anyways, who knows on the mental aspect. But at least from that kick, he cleared it pretty well. So, I mean, the only downside from that, from getting 6 field goals, is our red zone touchdown percentages are low. I mean, you get down there that much, a lot of those field goals are pretty short, and you're telling me we can't get more touchdowns? I mean, we still won by 8. We still scored 30 points. But you can't get down there that much and win a game against a good team. A team like KC would have beat us. A team like the Eagles would have beat us there. I mean, you have to have more oomph to what you're doing. You have to have a better percentage of getting in the end zone, because getting down there and not punching in, that's a problem, and we need to fix that pretty quickly. But yeah, enough talking about bad. I'm still on the good side. And finally, we actually scored points in the second half. We've been scoring 3 to 6 points the past 3 games in the second half, which is not great at all. And now this time around, we scored most of our points. I mean, we only had 13 points in the first half, and that's coming up on the negative side. But I mean, we scored well. We did our job. We did what we were supposed to do. And even though most of those field goals in the second half, we were still getting down in the range to get points. And we took our medicine and took those field goals in those areas without going, well, let's go for it. It's good to have that mentality of going for it, but not all the time. You have to know the place and time to do it. But yeah, that's it for the positives. I mean, there's a lot of positives, but I mean, can't hit everything because it's gonna be like an hour-long video. Well, not really, because we still got a lot of negatives to go through. But next segment, negatives from the game. Bills' pass defense was miserable, like just disgusting. Dane Cook, I mean, yeah, not Dane Cook, Jesus. Dane Jackson was getting cooked all damn night, which is just frustrating. Amari Cooper was just taking everything from him. It's like he didn't know what to do or know how to handle it. It's just very frustrating. He's not a rookie anymore. He's getting more towards being a veteran, like a low end veteran, at least years wise. And you miss Tre White so much. And I get it. Probably didn't need him that day because the run game mostly was going to probably be the thing that we had to stop. But you can't make Brissett look like an MVP quarterback. I mean, he balled out. He got 300 plus. I think he got 320 something yards passing on us. We can't have that happen. That's just disgusting. So, definitely a huge negative. I think it might be caused by focusing so much on the run defense, but still the pass rush was getting pretty close in there too. They were getting pressure on Brissett. Obviously, tackling wasn't the greatest in that area, and he was able to slip through and get some passes out. But we were getting the pressure on him. It's just the DBs were not holding their ground. They didn't have. It's not like they were having to hold it for 5+ seconds. They just weren't holding it even for a couple seconds. So definitely troublesome. But we should bounce back once Tre White gets in and gets comfortable. And who knows who's going to be in that second cornerback spot at this point. If Dane Jackson plays like that again, it's most likely going to be one of the rookies. And most likely Elam. I would put money on that. But, yeah, next on to the next thing. I have Bills offense at a very slow start. And, I mean, it's so slow you thought this game, if the Browns would have went up 14-0, if the defense would have stopped them, it would have been a lot different. It would have been a lot different of a game. Because even though, yes, it was 10-3, that's not bad. And then we get a field goal. Then we get another touchdown. Then we end up being 13-10 going into the half. Great. But it was such a slow start, and Josh was just missing throws like crazy. All of his throws seemed like they're going 2-3 feet higher than the person's head. And if you're on the run, you can't just take a big ass leap to get it. I mean, the only reason why Dawson Knox had that big third down conversion was because he was stopped on his route and he was able to jump up, and he's a tall guy already, and he had to fully extend and jump up to catch the ball. I think Josh Allen it looked like that first half that Allen was just afraid to get it close to the cornerbacks or make it a pickable ball. Basically putting it to the highest point he thinks his receivers can get to, which did not turn out well for them. It just grinded my gears at that point where I just was watching and I'm like, what are you doing, Allen? These passes, I get it. They didn't have much practice. They didn't have all these things going on for them. But, hey, Allen has gone in the concussion protocol, had no practice really all week, and he's came out and thrown well. It's like, is it the elbow? Is it his confidence? Is whatever's going on, he was part of the issue of that offense not melding well. And then obviously the Gabe Davis drop and just some play calling stuff. I mean, how are they not running more in the beginning? You're going up against one of the worst run defenses. Yes, they stuffed a couple runs. Scheme up a run differently. Learn from your mistake. Look at what they did. Say, okay, let's run it this way this time. It's just, I don't know, it's mind-boggling that they didn't. And then the second half, and they're like, oh, we can actually run better now. Yeah, they did get a couple good runs in the first half, but it's like they weren't doing as, like, once the second half hit, that's when they started doing most of the runs. So you got, it's a small, bad thing to look at. It's just something to question at this point. Because why weren't they doing that before? Anyways, then I have just the red zone touchdown percentage, and on top of that, our third down conversion rate. I mean, going into the game, it's like, going into this game, they had the highest converting rate. Yeah, it did not look great today. I mean, 3rd and 2s we weren't able to get done. And it's like, same thing, and then opposite side, the defense was allowing. It's been 2 weeks straight, and I'm not liking the pattern right here. They're allowing a lot of third and long conversions on the other, for the other offense, and against teams they shouldn't. I mean, granted, Vikings, they have a good wide receiver core. They have good weapons. That's understandable. I mean, you shouldn't let them get them, but that's more understandable than doing that against the Browns with just Amari Cooper back there, pretty much. You can't be doing crap like that. It just doesn't make sense why they were letting these long third downs convert. It's not like they're running it that far. They're just doing pass plays, and they weren't just getting the third down. They were getting like 5 to 10 yards past it sometimes. That is just, you shouldn't. No defense should let that happen, especially as much as it was happening in that game. That first drive they converted 2 third and 10s pluses. Like that, you can't have stuff like that happen. That's just not great. So hopefully we revert that pattern soon, because we did good on the run. Our run defense is starting to get better. We need to get better on stopping third downs again. We were one of the best, and now we're getting towards probably middle of the pack-ish, or at least out of the top 10. So definitely a little concerning. It's just horrendous to see. Next segment up. Oh God. Cause for concern. Yes, it was a good game. We won, but it was still 50-50. We still had a first half where we got 13 points. Not horrible, but offense was just not clicking at all. And then the second half where they started clicking, but not good enough to get in the end zone. But we still won. It's still a great game, but there's still some concerns that might leak in to the future. I almost could have put this on a negative, which I was going to, but I put it into this column. The Bills' O-line struggled on Sunday, and it was just weird to see, like players like Deion Dawkins getting burned and just bullied over there. It's just like it's like he wasn't in the right headspace or something, or I don't know what was going on. It just looked bad. Like his rating, I guarantee his pass blocking that game was probably not that high. Probably run more towards average, but he's a good pass blocker. I'm just more curious what was happening. So that's cause for concern-ish. Like I said, it's not a super negative, but it just wasn't good to see Josh Allen always being pressured back there. There was just sometimes where people just came in almost untouched on Deion Dawkins' side, and it just wasn't great to see. So, not just Deion Dawkins, he was just what I noticed in the game. I didn't have a chance to go back and rewatch it or anything, but it's just hard to see that against him. You don't usually see that when it goes against a player like him. Then Allen's uncharacteristic throws. Allen has never. Earlier in his career, he sailed a lot of balls on people, put too much power on it, sailed them, and put them in the dirt when it's close. And it just seems, not that he reverted, it's just like it's uncharacteristic of him now, and it's like he's doing those throws now, especially that first half. A lot of balls towards the ground more, and then either like a couple feet away from the players on all sides, or just throwing them over their heads. It just didn't make sense what he was doing. So I'm hoping he gets some confidence back. He gets everything back, and he goes, we're going to come out and destroy this Lions team, and I'm going to be the one to destroy him. And I'm going to let everyone make their plays. Not put it all on my back. Because he probably loved seeing there was an actual run offense going now. And I know he likes to do everything, but he's going to see it as a positive. Less time for him to have to use his legs. Now he has time to focus on getting his throwing back to where it was at the beginning of the year. But definitely, like I said, it's just a little concerning to see those uncharacteristic throws coming back. I'm hoping it's not the elbow. That's why it's more on that concerning level. Um, then Dane Jackson just getting burned all the game. I mean, to me that's concerning because are you going to keep him as the cornerback too once Trey comes back just because of seniority? Because if you are, that's not going to hold well. Maybe if he's facing wide receiver twos and threes, maybe that's better. But Tre White doesn't really follow most of the time. Most of the time, Tre White is going to just stick down on his side. So they could just pick on Dane Jackson's side all game if they wanted to. So there's going to be a big decision to make once Tre White comes back on if they're going to have Dane back there or they're going to be throwing in Elam. So hopefully Elam's healthy by then. I think he should be able to come back by this, maybe not by Thanksgiving, but definitely the week after. So, I mean, Thanksgiving, yes, the Lions have a good offense and they just destroyed the Giants, but who knows? That's for the Lions preview, but yeah, definitely interesting. Um, then this isn't really concerning, but it's just Tre White was pretty much not a healthy scratch this game, but he had no designations um, like not playing in the game and on the injury report. There was just nothing. Like you're not seeing any designations of if you got a full practice in, limited practice. It just blank. I just don't like not. I get it. If he was actually if it's a knee thing still, put that on the injury report saying like knee. So it's not just like more like of a healthy scratch or letting him get back to full comfortable. It just seems weird. Like I wished this was the game where they're not going to be throwing it as much as you think they would. Obviously they did because they were getting passes in, but just to get him warmed up, just to get him like put a 20 20 count snap 20 snap count on him for this game or 15 snap count on him just to get him out there, just to get him used to going up against actual competition because he's going to need that. We got a couple big games coming up that we're going to need him in, and he's going to have to be ready. But yeah, that's going to be it for that. Now, I'm going to go to my sponsors. I have my wife, Elisha. She has an Instagram page where she puts all of her crochet work on. So check her out. It's called Crochet with Elisha. It's Elisha at the end. So check her out. She does a lot of gloves, mittens, hats, scarves, anything you can think of for winter for like kids and adults. She does jackets as well with some nice buttons and all that fun stuff. They are very warm. That's what our sons wear most of the time. And she also makes cardigans, tops, bottoms, uh, anything you could think of, she's made it. Dolls, she does a lot of dolls and like she's made tons of crap. Just check out her Instagram. Shoot her a message. You want a big warm fuzzy blanket? Shoot her a message. She can give you a timeline when it can be ready, the amount it's gonna cost, and all this stuff down. She can even break it down between like material and all this stuff and time of why she's charging so much. So not so much, but why she's charging what she is. Because if you don't know how much it costs to buy stuff and do stuff like that, it's gonna not look as cheap as the store, but it's gonna be a better quality product. So I mean, you get what you pay for. Next up, I have my buddy Evan. He has a channel as well. Check it out. It's Mr. 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 Nasty Tyyyme. It's Mr. Nasty Time. Check that out. I'm gonna put the link in the description. But he does a lot of stuff with the NFL. He does a weekly power rankings 1 through 32. Then he also does UFC stuff as well, breaking down UFC fights on the main cards. They have a lot of big fighters on them, breaking down how they fight, everything like that. He has 15 plus years in fighting experience, 15 plus years in watching it and understanding it. So he has a lot of good knowledge. So check that out. and he also moved his gaming over to it recently. So he's doing a lot of Modern Warfare 2. Just recently, doing more of the Modern Warfare, the new Warzone 2.0. He's very good at playing the game. Definitely interesting. The chat's always fun. It's going on when we're playing, so check it out. It's a blast. And then finally, my future sponsor, hopefully, it's going to be New Belgium Voodoo Ranger. New Belgium has a lot of good beers, but Voodoo Ranger is the best dissect off it that I liked. Check out Juice Force. Juice Force is a great beer. It's 9.5%, and it's a hazy IPA that tastes like 6.57% beer. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, but if you're in IPAs, you know what I'm talking about. So definitely worth the pickup. And most stores, you can get it between $2.50 and $3.50 for like a 19-ounce can. So totally worth it. But yeah, I got some upcoming videos. Tomorrow I'm gonna be dropping Bills versus Lions. Well, probably tomorrow night. Wednesday morning I'll be dropping a Bills versus Lions preview plus prediction. I'm not putting the same game parlay in there because I'm gonna be mixing that all into the Thanksgiving games. Then also talking about that, I'm gonna have a video coming up about probably dropping that Wednesday night ish as well. Thanksgiving plus Thursday night football parlays. So I'll be doing like probably 4 or 5 parlays and walking through them on that. Then I have the Bills versus Lions post game reaction, and that'll probably come out around Friday or so. And then I'll be putting some Sunday night football and Sunday game parlays into. But that's gonna be it for me. It's been nice putting this content out there. If you enjoyed it, give me a like and subscribe. And if you have any feedback, definitely put a comment. Negative, positive, everything's welcomed. But yeah, that's going to be it. Go Bills, and I'm out.